Hello, good morning. My name is Eunice Abora, and welcome to UST training. Today, we're going to be talking on the core security principles, or known as CIA TRIA. So these three principles, these are the backbone or key concept in cybersecurity or information technologies as a whole. In a nutshell, talking of information technology, you're the word information. What type of information are we talking about? Start talking about data, different type of data. And now the key concept of security comes in. That's the concept of the CIA TRIA to make sure that users' data are protected. So we're going to see what this thing is. We have the three main concepts, with the first one being confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay, core security principles. As we said, we have the principle of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. But what really is confidentiality? Confidentiality is just, again, the key concept in cybersecurity that help protects users' information. And the way it does this is by preventing unauthorized access, someone who does not have access to see your data or organization data. So, and confidentiality ensures that people who do not have the right privilege or privileges cannot access sensitive type of data. That's the keyword. As I said, but what really is data? Data is anything that you type, you impute, and it goes to your laptop. Or it can be anything that you can write on a piece of paper. That is data. And what are some of the examples of data? Thinking of data, you can think of your social security number. You can think of your date of birth. You can think of your home address. You can think of your first name and last name. You can think of the name of your child. There are just so many data, so many type of informations or data type that organizations store. And by default, when we go in depth to all of our training, then we're going to see some of the regulatory authorities that different countries or nations have put in place to ensure that organization adheres to them, such that, they better protect users' data. In a nutshell, they have to maintain confidentiality. Okay, so talking of the different type of data, as I said, think of a situation where you have a folder or you have two folders or two pieces of paper. Then on one of that folder, you have like some sensitive information. You have like your social security number, you have your date of birth, you have your home address, you have like where you work, you have your phone number, your email address. And then on the other hand, you have like a list of grocery. Maybe you want to go to it, you want to go do grocery, you just eventually have those items that you don't want to forget. Between these two folders, which one are you really going to keep safe? Are you just going to put a folder that has all your sensitive information in a common area that someone can eventually get access to? No, I don't think you want to do that. Because if someone get access to, say, like your banking information, your username and your password, of course, that person can eventually log into your account. You can be a victim of identity theft. Same principle applies here in cybersecurity, in a concept of confidentiality. So organizations put those things in place that prevent unauthorized users from getting access to users' sensitive information. What are some of the ways that organizations do obtain or confidentiality can be obtained? One of those ways is through encryption. But what really is encryption? Encryption on its own, the word encrypt. Okay, I think most of us here have different applications like WhatsApp. And if you look on your WhatsApp app, they said that it enables end-to-end encryption. Simply mean that when you send a message to somebody, if I send a message to you, a recipient, that message is being encrypted. It's being encrypted and only you can decrypt, can uncover that message. So encryption, what encryption does is, and because organizations send sending messages over the internet, by the time you write a message, you send over the internet, you don't have control over that message. And of course, organization, for them to have their businesses, for businesses to function, everything many times have to go over the internet. And the cost of going over the internet, then they want to be able to implement encryption. Okay, and you have different type of encryption algorithm such that when we go to our security plus class, you guys or people will be able to identify and see these different encryption algorithm. So what encryption does is encryption just is scramble that data. It make it useless such that if a hacker eventually get access to that data, if that hacker sees that data is gonna be useless. The hacker cannot read it. For example, so I have a piece of paper. I wrote some stuff here and I scratch it and I scramble it. When I scramble what I have written on this paper, will you be able to read it? No, you will not be ready. You will not be able to read it. It is useless. So that's what encryption does. Encryption scramble the data. It make it useless, not useless in the term of the users, but useless for an unauthorized person, okay, an authorized user, such that even if that person get it, they will not be able to read it. Just example, you have your house, you have your key, you have your door, you always lock that door, correct? Same principle apply, you lock it with that key. Even if somebody come with a wrong key, would they be able to access your house? No, they wouldn't be able to access it. And even this house concept is a good concept of confidentiality, because the main reason why you lock your house, lock your door, you don't want like a thief or maybe an unauthorized person, a strange person to just barge into your house. That's why you are able to have to lock it, right? And when we go further to our security concept, then we're going to see the different type of encryption. Okay, we'll have different type of encryption algorithm, and they'll have different type of encryption known as a public key and private key encryption. But that's something that we're going to discuss in depth once we go to our security plus class. Another way that you can attain confidentiality is through the process of access control. What really is access control? This is one of the main things that organization implement to ensure that even authorized users, you give users just what they need to carry their job. Think of it this way. You have your little child, your kid or your toddler, maybe you're not gonna you monitor them pretty much. If they are awake, they are not sleeping, you monitor them because they are kids, they don't know much. A toddler can go put his or her hand on the stove even when that stove is on, correct? But you as a parent, of course, you want to guide your children in a better way so that they don't harm themselves. So that's like kind of restricting them, okay? You restrict them. Or maybe in a situation where, you have some very like dangerous objects at home, you want to keep everything safe. That way your child, they're not going to hurt themselves. So same concept in the process of access control. Access control just simply means that you give users just what they need to carry out their job, just what they need to perform their job. For example, someone in the human resource department will have different access control. Someone in the accounting department will have different access control. Like a database administrator will have different access than a system administration or an admin user. So we have different users. Or someone with just like more of like an end user, they're going to have different access. Why do they do this? Because think of a situation where users or employees have unlimited access. If I have unlimited access, I go see things that I'm not supposed to see. Guess what? Confidentiality has not been maintained, and in security, we name it as data breach. Yes. So you want to give people just that access that they need to carry out or perform their job. Also known like they have different type of access control, but we're gonna see some as we're gonna demonstrating like on a Facebook how we can eventually get access to your own account. The way of obtaining access control, the very first one is the process of identification. What is identification? Simply put, it's just a unique username. Yes, that's the very first thing that someone can eventually get access. For you to be able to, or organization to determine that this is you, like you are who you claim you are, or this is Eunice who is trying to log into her laptop, the very first thing that I will need to provide is my username if I want to log into my laptop. Or likewise, if you wanted to log into your Facebook account, any of your social media platform accounts, the very first thing that you need to do is for you to prove your identity. And you prove your identity by putting in your username. But just with that username, will you be able to log in? Not at all. What next? Once you put in your username, the next thing they're going to ask you is your password. Okay. And once you put your password, what happened? So we're going to go to the next process. Here in access control is being obtained first through 3 different principles. The very first one, or steps, the very first one is identification. Identification, users claim their identity by putting in their unique username, and it should be a unique username, not you and you only. So next, once you put in your username to log into your Facebook account, then the process of authentications come in. What really is authentication? Authentication just means granting access, giving this person access. You either grant it or you either reject it, depending on the credential, the validity of that credential that you have provided. And you do this by eventually putting in your password. Okay, so if you see here, this is a diagram of John Smith. First name is John, second, last name is Smith. So John, first and foremost, claimed his identity by putting his username, and then he eventually claimed this identity by putting a password. Was John put in this password, then John is allowed to log into maybe his Facebook account or his Instagram or to his organization network. But guess what? Just with this username and password, is it safe? Is that the only form of authentication organization can have? And that's where we have the next slide where they talk of second-factor authentication, also known as multi-factor authentication. And that's where I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to demonstrate to you all to see how you can better protect your account. And don't just rely on just your username and your password, because in a situation where a hacker have access to your username and your password, of course, they're going to get access to your account. I've seen situations where a lot of celebrities, I see their accounts, they've been hacked because maybe they just rely on one single method of authentication, okay, with just their username and password. But no, we don't need to rely just on username and password. We want to get another way of authenticating ourselves to better protect our account, such that even if a user or a hacker get access or knows your username and password, but guess what? Yes, they'll be able to put your username and password, but still, they will not be able to log into your account. Let's go to Facebook. That way I can demonstrate better. For example, this is my Facebook account. If I want to log into the Facebook account, the first thing I'm going to do is to put my username and password. Putting my username and password, I've put in my username. So my identity is that I have put in my username. Now I want to claim my identity, and I claim my identity by putting in my password. So I'm going to put my password, and then we're going to see if I'll be able to log in or not. Let's go. I hope I have the right password. It's been a while that I let's see. Okay. Okay, so I eventually have the right password. I don't want to save it. I eventually have the right password. Do you see that I have put in my username and my password? But even with my right username and password, something is still, they still requires some information from me. And guess what? That's a concept of multi-factor authentication. Even with this username and password, I'm still not able to log into this account. Why? Let's see here. Do you see here? They talk of multi-factor authentication, and there are different ways that you can enable multi-factor authentication. You can, maybe a second way is by putting maybe your fingerprint. You can do your iris scan, or the one and most common way, which is really safe, is by having an app, an authentication app on your phone. So let's go and see what they are, Facebook is requesting from me. Do you see they said enter a 6-digit code from your from your code generator or third-party app. Yes, it's a third-party app because I have an iPhone. So I went to App Store. For you that have maybe an Android, you have to go to Play Store. And if you see here, I already have the app. All my accounts are being protected. And once you see there, you see I have Facebook. So I have this 6 code that I'm supposed to put. Even if I put a wrong code, guess what? I will not be given access. I will not be granted access. And that's what I talk of access control. Just like you are able to put in that correct, your valid credentials. So right now, I'm going to put in this 6-digit generated code to see if I'll be able to log in. Let's go. I have put in that code. I will then take in. Continue. Do you see another thing? So they asked me, if you save this browser, you won't need to enter a code when you log into this browser. But you know what? I don't want to take save. I want to take don't save, because there's a situation where you might have some visitors, right? You might have some visitors, you might give them your laptop. Maybe some of you just go there and you save your username and password. If someone get access to your laptop, of course, they can just immediately go to your account. And in security, if someone get unauthorized access to your account, confidentiality has been breached. Yes, and that's why we're talking of access control. And because I don't want anybody who is not authorized, except myself, to log into my account, of course, I'm not going to remember that browser. So I want to make sure that anytime, any day that I want to log into my account, that browser, I will be asked to put in that 6-digit generated passcode. So let's continue and say. Welcome. This is my Facebook account, right? So this is my Facebook account, but there's one thing now that you need to do. And remember now, I've just shown you all the concept of multi-factor authentication. But there's something that I really want people to know. And the very first thing is to try and always go to your settings and your privacy. It's really, really important. Always make sure you go to your setting and your privacy. So when you go to your setting and privacy, you can do a privacy checkup, but let's go to setting to see what is happening. Okay. So if I do here, I'll go to security and logins. There you're going to see all the information. You're going to see like what is active. Like for example, it even gives you the type of device that was used to log into your account. And as of now, you see, I have a PC. My Windows is a PC, right? It even gives you your geographic location. Right here, I'm in New Brunswick, Texas, and that's what it's giving me. And it also gives you the name of that application. I'm using a Google Chrome, and that's it here. So it shows that this device is active. It's active because currently, this is what we are using right now to log into my to my Facebook account. Then secondly, you can see even like other device, because I also use my phone to access my Facebook account. And that's why it even gives you the name of the phone, as well the version, as well as the location and the country. So it will even tell you the time. What time did you use that particular device to log in? You have all of this information here. So this is some of the things where I know a lot of people, these are some of the things where I know a lot of people are not really, like they don't really know, and they are not knowledgeable about. Always make it a habit for you to log into your social media platform and always go to that security session to just see what kind of activities is is going on your account. And for some of you that your account will be hacked, of course, this is a situation where you want to make sure that you go in there and better protect your account. This is an area where you can also change password. Do you see? You can eventually change your password. Always make it a habit to change your password max, in 30 days or 90 days. Don't just keep your password being static. Always make it a habit to change your password. And this is where that I want to show you all. If you see here, do you see when I talk of use two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication? So because I already have this one enabled, all I need to do, if I want to edit it, I can edit it. If I click there, do you see I can turn it off, but I don't want to turn off. This is it. Authentication app. So for some of you, if you don't have this app installed right now, all you need to do once you go to this location, then you're going to get a barcode. When you get a barcode, just scan it. You can scan it, or you can better see, go to your app store. You can App Store or your Play Store, you can just download the app. And once you have this barcode, once you scan it, when you go now to the app, the authentication app, once you scan that barcode, automatically Facebook is going to appear there, such that each time you want to log into your account, of course, you'll be prompted. Once you've put in your password, then you're going to be prompted to put in that authentication code. Okay, so let's see other stuff. So that's what that I intend to show of. We can still go there and just take a look and see. Do you see? So you will have like encrypted notification email. So these are some of the things that you can read and just get yourself, just understand some of these embedded features that Facebook already have for us. And once we have logged in, do you see that I have we're able to log in? So we have two-factor authentication. And we said that authentication is just for you to prove your identity. You prove your identity by, you claim your identity by providing your password or by providing your authentication, authenticated credentials. And the very first one that we've put is our password. And then we also have a multi-factor authentication that was able to get a code from my authentication app. And guess what? There is a login. You only need to provide, if you cannot provide this code, then you won't be able to log in. And that's where, your login is successful, or our login was successful because we were able to provide that authentication code. The next aspect has to do with authorization, and that's the part that we have just discussed. Okay, so we start off access control by putting in your username. After you put in your username, you claim your identity, which is a unique username. You go to authentication, where you claim your identity by putting in your password. Then you follow by authorization. We have been authorized. We are granted, we've been given access now to that account. I was able to log into my account because I eventually put in the credentials, the rightful credential or the valid credentials. That's when I was able to access my account. And now with authorization, if I go to my Facebook, then I can go to maybe I can see like my friends, I can see photos that they've posted, pictures they've posted, I can upload videos, I can post my stories, because I am authorized. I'm the authorized users. I've been given access to my own account. But now in a corporate world, once you've been given access, okay, once you have been given access, that particular access right now, you are able to access, resources. You've been given access to resources within your organization. Now you can perform your job. You can go there, maybe you can print something from the printer. You have access to certain type of data. So this is the authorization part. And this authorization part comes with accountability. It comes with accountability because the fact that you have been given access, now you are accountable for all your action. Anything that you do, you will be accountable for. So now that we've talked about confidentiality, the next one that we want to go in depth is more of talking about the next aspect, which is integrity. Remember, we said the CIA triad make up of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So now let's go and see the integrity part of it. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.